Welcome to FVA's health course. Today we're going to go through the course and look how it's set up through It's Learning. The first thing you're going to do is when you log onto It's Learning, you're going to go to courses, and then you're going to click on your health course. Once you get to your health course, you're going to go automatically to the overview page. You'll see on the overview page, you're going to have your planner right here. And this is where I like to get a lot of my information from, is from the planner. If you scroll down, you'll see there's bulletins, and on the right side, you'd have any tasks that are due that week. So when we're looking at this, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit start here. So what this is going to do is give you a general description of what Unit 1 is going to look like. It's going to break it down by task for Unit 1 on the next page. And this page is, again, just a good general overview. There's not much you're going to do on this page. It's just for your information ahead of time. Just so you all know, Unit 1 is going to look completely different than the rest of the units. Unit 1 is just an introduction, so we're just going to go through and make sure you know how to do discussion posts and that you know how to share something from your Google Drive, and we're going to go over Nearpods, and then you're going to do a little bit of something with your nutrition log. So Unit 1 is going to look a little bit different, so I'm going to show you Unit 1 first, and then I'm going to go through what a typical unit is going to look like. So we're going to be using what's called learning pathways for our units. A learning pathway, so you all saw on the previous page, it has task 1, task 2, task 3. Learning pathway allows you to only open one at a time, so you can't go to task 3 before you finish task 1. So when I hit the start button, it's going to automatically give me to task 1. All task 1 is instructions on how to post in a discussion. So you can click through slides, as you can see. You can go down here, there's a video you can watch, there's some discussion post tips, and then you can see after I've viewed it, because this is just a view, then it will open up task 2 for me. So I can either hit continue there, or I can go up here to task 2. Then I'm going to have a quiz on discussion post. So the great thing about this is that for certain quizzes that we have, you can take them in as many times as you want. You just want to make sure you read that in the directions. So you can see here, you may complete the quiz as many times as you would like in order to obtain the score that you desire. Some of them are unlimited, some of them are not. Depends on where you are in the unit. Earlier in the unit, we're going to use more of the take it as many times as you want. Later in the unit, it may be just a one time. So just check that before you start. I would start the test if I was in this unit, and then I have to score at least a 70 for task 3 then to open up. I'm not going to walk through the entire learning pathway with you, but the great thing about this is if I decide, oh, I'm just going to do task 1 and task 2, I can close this and then come back to it. So I can go to my resources, or I can go to my planner. And in my planner, I can go to Unit 1 Learning Pathway, and you'll see where you can click Resume, and then it leaves off right where you were. So you can come back to this a day, 2 days, 3 days later, whichever you like. While we're in the planner, this is another way to access your information. I like this way also because it's very organized. It will have your lesson, the date, description, resources here, and then your homework. And the homework is just going to list due dates. So when I click on here, it will open up. Let it load for a second. And this will allow you to access the checklist to say, okay, how do I post a discussion quiz, and you can see everything that's due here. You'll notice that everything is the same due date except for the opening discussion. And the reason that it's a different due date and earlier due date is because we want to make sure everyone has time to respond to you. So when you have a discussion post, we want to have people respond. So if you post on last date, that's a little bit difficult. So going back, the other place you can get your information is resources, and if you used It's Learning for a while, this is going to kind of look like the old formatting. So I'm going to go to this Unit 1, and you can see I can click the Unit 1 Learning Pathway or that kind of overview that we looked at earlier. So I'm going to show you what Unit 2 is going to look like. So in Unit 2, this is what a typical unit is going to look like. So you're going to have a discussion post, and again, that's a 1+3, which means that you're going to have one initial post and you're going to have 3 responses to your classmates. You want to make sure these are productive responses, not just a, yeah, I agree, or yeah, good job. You want to make sure it adds something to the conversation. And if you can have an opinion that differs as long as you respect your classmates. Task 2 a lot of times is going to be an article that you read on the subject of that unit. And then task 3 will be a quiz on that article. And you'll be able to pull the article and the quiz up at the same time. All of your slotted notes quizzes, you'll be able to retake as many times as needed to score whichever grade you would like. You cannot go on to task 4 in your learning pathways unless you score 70 or above on those. Then you're going to have a video that applies to the subject or the unit, and then you'll have a quiz on that video. For your video quizzes, you will not be able to retake them, but you can pull up the video at the same time. So just make sure you take your time on that and make sure it's the way you want it the first time. Then you'll have an assignment. So for Unit 2, you'll look through the SMART Goals PowerPoint, and then you'll finish your SMART Goals assignment where you'll turn that in. The only other thing that you may have in your unit is a Nearpod, and there will be in your Unit 1 an overview of what Nearpod is and how you're going to use it. So that's what a typical unit is going to look like. It's pretty straightforward, and each unit is going to look very similar to the next. I'm going to go back to the overview page. One thing to note on here is your bulletin is an area that your teacher may put some class announcements, and that's one way your teacher can communicate with you. And another way is through the It's Learning Messenger, which you can see is up here on the top right. The It's Learning Messenger is also a great way for you to communicate with your teacher. So if you have any questions, you can shoot it their way on that It's Learning Messenger. You can also email them, but the It's Learning Messenger should be the quickest way of communication. I hope this helps. The big thing for success in this class is make sure that you're communicating with your teacher. If you have any issues or questions, make sure you're talking to them ahead of time. We want everyone to have a successful and great semester, so please let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.